Alright, so originally for this last intercooler video, I was supposed to do it before putting the bumper back on, but that didn't happen. So I'm just going to go over a few things that you should know when you go to put everything back together. And there's this plastic flap here that has to be lined up in here, which is something that I failed to do at first, and then I had to take some stuff off and put it back. So that was kind of a pain. You want to make sure you get that plastic flap lined up in here. It's kind of hard to see, I know. And then don't forget to get your hood latch back together. You should know that the Cruze Eco Trim has some active grill shutters down in here that open and close electronically, controlled by the ECM. You will get a check engine light after installing a Cruze intercooler kit, but if you get your ECU retuned, then they can turn off your check engine light after it's retuned. Also, ZZ Performance says to use a 5mm Allen wrench, and it's not. It's a 4.5 here for this boost and map sensor, and it's a 4.5 Allen wrench when you go to do the throttle body bolts though, so it's two different sizes. Also, when you go to clamp all this stuff down, the clamp here by the throttle body is the toughest one to do, because let's see, it's kind of hard to see with this wiring harness in the way. You'll notice that there's barely any thread sticking out once I did finally get it tightened down, compared to this one over here, and all the other ones are like this. They really should have given a bigger clamp here to go there, because that is just so difficult to get on and off. The clamp is just not big enough. There's not enough threads to grab onto the nut. Okay, also when you go to put on these couplers, I should have a video uploaded about it, but you'll want to have some like silicone oil. You can also use silicone spray, but it'll make putting these on and off and moving them around a lot easier, the silicone couplers. And if you're dealing with cold weather outside, you can use like a heat gun on a low temperature setting, or just a hair blow dryer. But anyways, this coupler here is, let's see, I wrote it down. It's 2 inches on the throttle body, and then it's 2 1/4 inch on this side. And then, I know you can't see it, I have the bumper on right now, but then here on the driver's side, that silicone coupler is 2 1/4 on both sides. And then, excuse me, the coupler on the passenger side is going to be 2 1/4 on the intercooler side, and it's going to be 2 inches on the pipe side. And then that's the smallest coupler and the only one that's straight, not 90 degrees, so it's 1.5 inches on the turbo side, 2 inch on the pipe side. You know, it looks like my pipe already got a little bit dirty down there. Anyways, that coupler is the only one I didn't have to cut or trim, I should say. The one that's down here, I guess it's not really a necessity to cut or trim it, but I did anyways. I took off at least 1 inch just to pull it away from the metal frame, or the body, or whatever you want to call it. And this one I had to trim 1 inch or maybe 2, I forget. And I think I trimmed it from this side, from the throttle body side. I should have made this video way sooner before I start forgetting stuff. And then I had to, this was the worst one. This one you absolutely have to trim 1 inch or 2 off, or else you wind up with a kink, like a really strong, sharp bend in that coupler, which will reduce your airflow. So that one you absolutely need to do. And see, what else can I tell you? Oh, the clamp sizes. So you have 1 1.5 inch clamp. So that's the one that goes here by the turbo. And then there's 3 2 inch clamps. So you have a 2 inch clamp right there. There's going to be another 2 inch clamp on the pipe side over here, and the one on the throttle body should be a 2-inch clamp. All right, and then you have 4 2¼ inch clamps. So there's one here, and then there's 2 2¼ inch clamps on the driver's side, and then there's 1 2¼ inch clamp here on the passenger side, but where it mounts onto the intercooler, not the pipe side. I think that's about all the tips and advice I can give you for removing factory intercooler and installing the ZZ Performance one. And my next video should be on putting a honeycomb insert into your aftermarket intakes. The factory one already comes with one built into the plastic housing. I'm going to do some driving though, test the fuel economy without it, and then test the fuel economy again with it. I know it's going to make a difference. Not only that, but with a cold air intake without the honeycomb, whenever I hit the gas pedal, even if I hit the gas pedal little, a medium amount, or a lot, doesn't matter. There's a lot of like jerking and surging. The throttle is just not smooth at all. So you really need that honeycomb to make the throttle smooth, to save gas, to get the most amount of power, because it just helps the mass airflow sensor to read properly. Alright, so look out for that next video with the honeycomb insert for your cold air intakes on the Chevy Cruzes.